Hi, my name is Laura, and I am applying for the editing position with TWLOHA on Arms, and this is my video application. So I'm applying for this position because ever since I first heard about TWLOHA on Arms and learned about what it stands for, and particularly when I went to my first Heavy and Light event, I knew that it was something that I had to play a bigger part in. There are not many things I feel sure about in my life, but this was one of them. So I know this is something that I have to work for. And this position specifically is one that fits my interests and my educational background. So I feel like I'd be a good addition to the team because I do have firsthand experience with the issues that To Write Love on Our Arms addresses, specifically depression and anxiety. So I have that deeper understanding of the issues, and I have the passion to help others dealing with these issues. I've made it out of the darker times of my life and seen the beauty in those darker days and been able to find hope. So yeah, that's definitely my biggest passion in life, is helping others. So job specific, I have very good work ethic. I have always maintained above a 3.5 GPA throughout all my schooling and maintained good grades and all that hoopla. I have a relevant degree. I have my bachelor's in English from University of Central Florida, woot woot, and I do have some slight experience with editing, which I'll go into. But writing experience is very extensive. I was a creative writing major, switched to psychology, and then switched to English, so I was all over the place. So did many writing workshops and learned what works with my writing and what doesn't, and that sort of thing. Lots of editing involved in that as well. And I put this in my resume, but I worked with the nonprofit, the Zebra Coalition, and worked with their director over there, specifically talking about editing in the nonprofit work environment and all that entails. Very insightful. Next question, because I'm running over on my time. So I love this question. Why do I think the written word is important in challenging mental health stigma and connecting people to help? I think it's important because, first of all, it reaches a wider audience than most other forms of communication could do. I mean, it spreads like a wildfire on social media. Therefore, you're connecting more people to help. You're sending these messages about mental health stigma to more people. It's just the best way to go about it, I think. Also, so specifically for people dealing with these issues that To Write Love on Arms speaks about, it can be it can be uncomfortable to feel vulnerable, and I feel like sometimes in-person communication can make people feel uncomfortable when it comes to talking about these kinds of things. So I feel like, at least initially, the written word is more effective when it comes to connecting people to help and talking about these issues, because it makes people less uncomfortable, I guess, if that makes sense. It's right there in front of them, and they can read it and do with it what they will and not feel, like in the spotlight or anything like that. And they can read these sentences over and over to get a deeper understanding of what is being communicated, rather than just hearing it, spoken once and whatnot. Last question. My favorite blog post. This is hard. There's so many good ones that I connect to, but I remember reading this one in particular, and it really, really spoke to me at this particular time in my life. It's called Light into Darkness by Jason Theobald. He kind of talks about how someone dealing with addiction told him their story of, coming out of the darkness and finding the light. And I feel like this whole blog post, the light that Jason is speaking about, is a metaphor for hope. And this whole thing, to me, is just about the fact that hope is real, and that sharing our stories with other people is one of the most important things we can do, because that's how we communicate hope and share that light with others. And that is my life's purpose, is to share light, aka hope, with other people. So I thought this story was a nice testament to that. Yeah, so that's all the questions. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to hear from you soon. Toodles! Oh, I just like saying toodles. It's a cool word.